Hello and welcome everyone. We are in Cologne at Gamescom 2019. My name is Nims and today Nintendo presents a more in-depth look at The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Joining us today from Nintendo of Europe we have Chris. Hello Chris and thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Nims. Hi everyone.
And also from Nintendo of Europe we have Filippo. Filippo, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much and hi everyone.
Right, so Chris, for many fans of this particular title, mainly myself, we are really excited for this game. And can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing today?
Yeah, so today we will be going on a little adventure in the reimagining of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. We will cross a desert, we will go via a wasteland.
Wow.
And we will find a secret behind a waterfall.
I'm sold. Let's go.
We'll also make many detours.
Yes, we will take some little detours along the way. Let's just say that our objective right now is to find the key to the Angler's Tunnel, which is one of the dungeons of the game.
Yeah, so in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Link has washed ashore of Koholint Island, and he needs to find his way back to Hyrule.
Okay.
And he is gonna need musical instruments to get home, and those musical instruments are found inside the game's dungeons. So we are making our way towards the Angler's Tunnel, which is one of the game's dungeons.
Okay.
And actually, the key is not simply just anywhere. The key is held by a mini-boss, which is the Lamola. It's an enemy that you might have seen in other Zelda games as well.
Yes.
Just be careful of the quicksand here.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to add that little bit more of a pressure.
Well, it's drawing us in. It's a little bit mesmerizing.
It really is a little bit.
I'm just trying not to fall.
Sure. Yeah, you can see that the head of the Lamola is its weak point. Which you missed.
Missed it there.
The hard shells cover the
That's it.
attacks if you go at it from that side.
There he is.
Oh, no, again.
Wrong angle.
Oh, Filippo, you can do this.
I hope so. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
that one was tricky.
That was close.
If I leave this area or if I fall inside the quicksand, the boss will replenish his health, so I would have to do the fight again.
Wow. Nice.
Good one.
Maybe I don't have to do that. So let's see if I can grab the key before it falls.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay.
So close.
Well, the angler key is going to be useful.
Yeah. I still.
Ooh, you made it.
I'm trying not to fall down. So you might see, this guy might look familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe not typically from other Zelda titles, but it's just one of the example of the many quirky characters and unique monsters that inhabit Koholint Island.
Yeah, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a very unusual title in that sense. That there are some monsters that you might recognize from, for instance, the Mario series. But there are also a lot of really strange, memorable characters. And of course there's an owl who is giving you wise advice all the time.
Yes. Sort of guides you, or at least hints at where you need to go next.
Off he goes.
I like that Link just looks at him, waits for him to leave.
Okay.
Of course, I mean, you have to be respectful towards owls.
Yes.
Very wise owl.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, this mesmerizing song is sang by Marin, who is the girl who finds you on the shore of Koholint Island, and she takes you in her home, and that's where you wake up and actually start the game. And we were just in Animal Village, which has a lot of really charming inhabitants. But because we're on a journey today, we're not gonna talk too much about that. People can find out themselves.
Hold on to those surprises.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil what happens, and but definitely travel to the animal village when you can, because it is a wonderful place. So there are a few changes, of course, in this game compared to the original Game Boy game, and one of them helps you navigate, I think. Like, there was already a pretty good map for a Game Boy game in the original title, but this map, I think, looks really awesome. It's super detailed. You can recognize everything in it. This is Mape Village, where we start.
Okay.
And the game already places some landmarks, some points of interest for you with these icons, but you can mark the map yourself with your own markers. So just to give you an idea of where we're going today, the Angler's Tunnel is here, around here, or at least that's where we want to use the key.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just mark it with a heart here.
Yeah.
Because we heart dungeons.
We heart.
All right. And so in order to get there from here, I'm gonna have to go up this path through this wasteland, maybe stop by somewhere on the way, and then reach the waterfall there.
Yeah, the level of detail is just incredible. It pops up. You really see the high differences, and it just is a treat to just have a look at it. And one thing that I particularly like about the reimagining of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for Nintendo Switch is that this is a very different kind of Zelda. First of all, you can see it's got a top-down perspective.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, a lot of players have discovered The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Switch, which was a very vast adventure that is very much about exploration.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is an adventure that takes place on an island. So at every centimeter of the island, there's a detail to soak in.
Yes. And still, there are some new elements as well. So, for example, now we are making our way inside the Dampe's shack. There you go. You might remember Dampe from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time,
Yes,
for example.
I do.
He decided to travel to Koholint Island. And
Why not?
I mean, this is a very nice spot apparently on Koholint Island, because you may remember that in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX for Game Boy Color, there was a photo booth here with a mouse running that photo.
I remember. God, that brought back some memories.
Exactly. It's a great spot to live. It's a great view.
instead, Dampe gives us the Chamber Dungeon, which is a completely new feature that, in this case, for example, we have to complete some Chamber Dungeon challenges. And I'm going to go for Key Hunter today. So you see that there is a room in the center of this area that has 4 doors that are locked by keys. And we have to place 3 different treasure chest rooms there. But anyway, a good dungeon starts with an entrance, which I'm going to place here. And of course, with a boss, which I'm going to place over here.
Right.
At any moment, you can always press the Y button to check if what you're doing, and the game checks if the dungeon is playable. So we have all of these messages because, of course, this is not a playable dungeon
we've
yet.
just started.
I'm just gonna go for it. So entrance, boss, and then all of these mark basically the rooms and how many entrances and exits they have. So I'm gonna place a room there. Then I'm maybe going to place a corridor for a chest. You can unlock also additional panels, of course.
Yeah, because essentially the chambers that you can use in the chamber dungeon are unlocked by completing the dungeons in the adventure. So the more dungeons you unlock, the more of those chambers you become available in the chamber dungeon.
I see.
And there are also additional ways to unlock some new chambers.
And just to clarify, it does change colors. If it's blue, that means this works.
Yeah, exactly. So far, it is following the rules and the challenges that this particular chamber dungeon challenge has set out for us, or for Filippo in particular.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, I'm not gonna play this one. You're going to.
Okay.
So I should have paid attention to what you were doing.
Well, no, I think it works out well for me if you didn't.
Okay.
So let me just find another.
He's testing you, Chris.
Yeah. Clearly. Right.
So you see now everything became blue.
Right.
We have no more warning messages.
Right.
We try to check. So we're actually recording this arrangement. And here I'm just gonna do a couple of things in order to get the dungeon ready to play for for Chris.
Chris,
Well,
mate.
one thing that you may not know is that for Filippo, this reimagining of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening was the first time he played the game. For me, I am a huge fan of the original, so I played it about 20 times.
Oh, okay.
And it's not that I didn't like the original. It's just that my sister was holding the Game Boy hostage and playing Tetris on it all the
And
time. So I just had no possibility to
Older
just access it. Yeah, exactly.
Older sibling problems.
Exactly.
Okay, straight away he gets the first key.
Yeah. And you notice that here it was Link was running pretty fast. Oops.
Oh!
This is super mean. Okay.
I didn't make the rooms. You know, I just placed them.
You just placed it.
So yeah.
I was
No
trying to
pressure,
be-
Chris.
I was trying to be clever and I wasn't.
So this is, you know, the key, the central part of the dungeon, the room with 4 locked doors.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah.
And it's amazing how even a simple single room can generate an entire challenge. But you really have to build the entire dungeon around this room.
Yeah.
And something that is also quite interesting is that
See
the
the
chamber
placing
dungeon
traps
feature
here.
sort of helps you out a little bit.
Okay.
So, for example, the game sort of knows how many treasure chests you've placed and where they are, and because of that, it always puts the nightmare key, the key to open the dungeon boss's chamber.
Yeah.
It always places that key in the last chest you open.
Right. Very good.
Somehow I have a feeling that's not enough yet.
Oh.
I know that you couldn't be defeated by a
I
couple
see
of
a
easy
crack in the
traps.
wall there.
Ooh.
So you saw Chris running really fast. That's the Pegasus Boots, which is an item that you get in another part of the game, and something that's quite cool as like a just increasing accessibility, making the game a bit easier or more comfortable to play. Of course, we have more than 2 buttons now compared to the Game Boy original, right? So the game has been changed so that certain items are always equipped.
Oh,
on
nice.
Link. You don't have to constantly go to menus to change them. And this, for example. For
Run
example,
away.
the Pegasus Boots
No,
is
no,
an
no.
item like that. The Power Bracelet is an item like that. The sword and the shield as well. They're all constantly equipped on you.
Ah.
There we
That's
go.
one way.
Fine.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah, this will be fine. All right.
Nice.
So that, for example, that enemy, that obstacle is almost unsurmountable if you don't have the Pegasus Boots.
Alright, I think I'm getting close to.
Get the
The
hearts, get the hearts.
Nah.
Oh, I was feeling confident.
Right. So this one I'm gonna do peacefully.
Peacefully for you.
That's Chris's version of peacefully.
Hey, he was attacking me. Self-defense.
It's like, you know, when kids say like, I'm just gonna run forward with my punch, with my fist forward, then it's gonna be you punching yourself in the face.
Let's practice the controls again.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Okay, fine. Better
wow.
for you guys.
Wow.
Those enemies for me also are reminiscing of underground enemies
Yes,
in,
they are.
in some other game. 20 rupees, joy.
Joy.
These guys, they teleport when you get close to them.
Yeah.
But
Fortunately,
Nice.
yes, 100 arrows.
Pegasus Boots.
It's just, I think it's just the hearts here.
then I'll just leave the hearts.
Not risk taking.
Oh.
Oh.
Right. Ooh. Here.
Even-
I'm,
Oh, that was so close.
Even within the dungeon, like the
yeah,
music.
I'm
is
gonna need a little bit of
so
light, I think.
And what's that Chris is using right now? Is that magic or?
Yeah, so it's magic powder.
Okay.
And magic powder has different effects, but the most common is that it can set certain things on fire. There are some additional uses for it, but it's the one that I am most fond of. Right. So that's chest.
Okay.
And just in case, I'll also hit the switch.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes it a bit easier to get to.
Oh, no
Oh
key.
no!
There must be a room that you didn't explore yet.
No!
That's minus.
Let's see what we.
Where have
Oh,
we
yeah.
been?
Oh.
Ah.
And he just said that this was just hard. I see what you did there.
I thought so.
Fine.
Whoa.
Almost.
I know.
You can combine the Pegasus Boots and jumping to reach really a little bit farther.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there might be. Yes, I know. There's one more choo-choo somewhere. You need to make it appear. You need to walk.
Oh.
You can try bomb barrels, maybe.
Nah.
Oh no.
So one way to defeat these guys, man.
Oh no.
One way to
Trying to be
defeat these guys
creative,
is
guys.
try to place a bomb where they will teleport, and then
Right.
go to them so they teleport in the place where.
Just go for the fast way.
Yeah, yeah. I think
There
it's that.
he is.
That's the guy.
Ah, okay.
See, thorough exploration is usually rewarded.
And as you said, the last key, the last chest is the one that contains the nightmare key.
Yes. And also, don't listen to people that are trying to to create a challenge. for you.
That's the second time you headbutted the wall there, Chris.
Hey.
I'm actually quite fond of that animation. Like, I find it very funny. So.
Nice. Oh.
Yeah.
It was worth a try. Let's see.
Let's open the door.
All right. So
All right.
So one thing that I like about the chamber dungeon is that you can revisit bosses that you may have already defeated in an earlier time, but now you have additional items. Almost. Oh no! Ah, don't push me away.
Oh.
You have additional items, which mean you can do some proper tricks.
Nice.
Nice.
Like bomb barrels. Very good. Yeah, so it's really nice to try to challenge yourself again with different tools and try to defeat bosses maybe a bit faster or in just different ways.
Yeah, and bomb arrow is one of my favorite tricks. Just combine the arrows and the bombs, and what do you get?
Bomb barrel. Yeah, you just press both buttons at the same time. So great. I mean, I had no doubt, but still very good. Very good job. The key hunter.
Thank
dungeon
Proved you are a fan.
has been cleared. And actually, even Dampen has some comments for you. Like there were some times that's where you had one foot in the grave. Right? And the cool thing is that sometimes when you complete these chamber dungeon challenges, you get new chambers. You get new panels to use in the chamber. In the
Oh,
chamber
nice.
dungeon. And sometimes even gives you more challenges. All right, so actually back to our original objective of actually
Nice little detour we took there.
opening the waterfall or opening the way to the fourth dungeon.
Yeah, and one thing I mentioned earlier is that when I was a kid, I played this game as a kid I played it many times, and then throughout my life I kept playing it. And what is something that I find really exciting is that when it came out originally, it came out with a very limited amount of languages. So for this reimagining of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, additional European languages have been added. And that means that you can now play the game also in Spanish, you can also play it in Italian, and you can also play it in Dutch, on top of English, French and German, which were already there. So for Filippo and his countrymen, and for me being Dutch and my countrymen, it's now another chance to revisit this game and also to experience the special nature of
I
this.
see what you did there.
Yes.
That's very good. That's awesome.
So we have finally reached the keyhole for the angler's key.
That's the sound of discovery.
Yes, I
That's
mean,
a great sound of discovery.
Yeah.
if you have such a big waterfall, you need to put something behind it. Like there's just no way around it. Also, I love the entrance, like just like the googly eyes of.
One eye that way.
So we have found we've opened the door, but we still, can't get there. So I have to find my ways. There's always multiple challenges in opening the way to a dungeon, finding the way to access it, finding the key. It's not simply, there's a dungeon, go in, do your thing.
It's never the case.
Yes.
Nice.
Something else that I find interesting is that the enemy patterns have changed. So really, even just the simple combat has changed. You see that as I get closer to these guys, they try to move back.
Ah, yeah.
So they can't be hit. This is all new for this version of the game. But now there is another moment of required silence. Taltal Heights, exactly. Taltal Heights was always a fun favorite, and I think it will remain a fun favorite even in this new rearranged orchestrated version.
I'm sure.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, the game has so many iconic tunes, and now with the Nintendo Switch version, all of these tunes are orchestrated. So it really feels like the music has gotten another dimension.
I mean, that just brought back a few memories for me. So I went a bit quiet for a moment. I was like, oh my god.
So it's also interesting how, for example, just before this part, I already opened the chest because I could reach that door. But very often you need new items to reach new places.
Right.
You can get many places in this map from very early in the game. But then, you know, some critical parts are locked behind the progression, getting new items. And it's always worth to revisiting every room, every place when you acquire new items, when you acquire new abilities for Link. Just because, you know, they made you miss the key. Now I'm going to defeat all of them.
Just to make sure.
Yes, just.
Oh no!
Oh, no, they're everywhere.
Even in the item boxes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yes. So this is actually among the many quirky and super interesting NPCs in the game. This is one of my favorite characters. This is Papal, and basically when you meet him in Maid Village at the beginning of the game, he tells you, "Oh, please come look for me when I will get lost." So he already knows, you know, like he doesn't trust his sense of direction, I guess, or something. But so at the moment when we talk to Papal,
Oh, look at his face.
yes, just like he said, you know, like, you know. So he's super famished, he wants some vitamins, and I think in our inventory we have a source of vitamins, as we do have a pineapple.
Aha.
And this is
Yum, 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 yum.
this is part of the trading quest sequence.
Yeah, the trading quest is one of the unique things of Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and it takes you all across Koland Island because there are many inhabitants of the island who are in need of something.
Right.
And at the beginning of the game you can acquire an item that you then can start trading for other items.
I see.
And not only do you get some very unusual requests. I mean, to be honest, a pineapple for a hibiscus flower is one of the more normal requests.
Normal requests.
Also, it gives you a little bit of background about each of these characters. It really tells you a little bit of their story, like what do they need in their life and
Right.
why are they where they are right now. It's a very subtle way of telling you more about who these NPCs are.
Yes.
So definitely do not miss it.
That's character to the world. really a lot.
Absolutely.
But anyway, finally, we managed to get to the entrance of the Angler's Tunnel, and we're not going to complete the whole dungeon because, again, we really want people to experience these things for themselves.
Absolutely.
We're going to play the initial part of this dungeon, which is mostly focused on combat. In this way, we will not spoil the solutions to puzzles.
Absolutely, and as you guys said, there are people who may have not played the original version of this title,
Like me.
and and you don't want to spoil it for them.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, you need to flip them with your shield. So, okay. So, we find the compass. The compass marks, of course, treasure chests on the map, but also will play a sound if we find ourselves in a room that has a key, like just like here.
Oh, you got
Ah.
a Guardian Acorn.
Yes. So this blue light on me is the power of the Guardian Acorn that reduces the damage I take by half
Wow.
There are also pieces of power that you can find, sometimes defeating enemies or under blocks.
Ah, I saw you earlier. You had the red.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And those the piece of power make you do double damage. It's a temporary effect, but yeah, when you have it, you better make good use of it. So I actually need at least 3 keys. I need 4 keys in total. I need 3 in this initial section. And actually, I'm going to go for the map.
Very useful.
Very useful, always.
Absolutely.
And here again, combining Pegasus Boots and jump, I can cross this gap.
Nice jump.
Thank you.
Oh.
One more key,
Oh,
and
piece of
there you
power.
go. Piece of power.
Nice. Ah, and there's the red glow.
You also move a little bit faster with
Yeah.
the piece of
Oh,
power,
yeah.
which is quite nice when you want to reach a faraway location. Second key.
Nice.
Yeah, and one thing that you can see is that we're now walking on shallow water, the light blue water. And there are also some parts of darker water. So those are the deeper water.
Oh, that was so cute.
Yes. So right now we should avoid those. They're dangerous. Wow, that was a
Oh.
close call.
Nice.
Third key.
Third key.
And yeah, it's quite nice how the dungeon basically automatically sort of changes the path you take based on the tools you have at your disposal. Right now there are many areas that are covered by this deeper water, so I can't reach them just yet. So now we have 3 keys and we can go through this initial part. And I just love the little steps, little super fast steps that it takes when using the Pegasus Boots. I'm gonna try to avoid these guys, but not these
nice.
guys. Ah,
Oh no!
when those little choo-choos are on my head, I can't attack, I cannot do anything, and
Oh,
you move very
no.
slowly, so you're open to enemy attacks. One jump. And a second one.
Doors open.
And actually, you can see that here we are in the place where we were before, where we used the Pegasus Boots and jump. Just in that now, instead of being able to jump from left to right, we can jump from
Ah,
the
okay.
bottom
And go,
to the-
oh no! Well, try
Not
to
just
jump.
yet.
Nice.
Yes.
Uh,
So that guy is going to be a problem for me because I can.
Nina.
Whoa, he's trying to get you through that.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
actually it does not trying. He manages. So I'm going to just push this,
Oh.
take the hit, and
and there you can see if you hold your shields, you actually stun him. So this is again an enemy pattern that has changed a bit.
so there's another key here, which would be great to open the door. Unfortunately,
Ah,
it just decides to fall in the one place with a hole in the
just
ground.
when you think you're nearly getting there.
So we need to get
It almost
one
sounds
more
like a
key.
game.
Yeah. We need to get one more key, and to do that we need to reach another part of the dungeon.
Go. Nice jump.
Okay. Maybe here, but no, I didn't hear the sound, of course. But again, to avenge Chris, we do get rid of them.
I appreciate your solidarity.
And there we are.
Nice. I love how it fell and managed to get in.
No, this was actually
No, that's a different place.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Oh, right.
It's a different place, but it's the key is now submerged in water, so I just cannot get it right now.
Oh, I see.
Go away, go away, go away.
Oh, no.
no,
Let me try to... Yes!
Yes.
You can now move and jump diagonally, and that's always useful, like in this case.
yeah, there
And
were some tricks in the original game on how to get across nearly impossible gaps, but it's a lot more understandable now.
8-way movement is, yeah, more comfortable. So here we finally have reached the mid-dungeon mini-boss. And this dungeon has this dungeon, sorry, this boss has, yeah, a very randomized pattern of movement. Fortunately, I can jump over them.
Nice, that was cool.
Actually, I didn't notice, like, you know, I tried to do this battle in many times.
Oh no.
Until somebody told me, you know, that you can just, you know, jump.
Oh.
It's still, you know, not completely trivial anyway, because it still can mess you up with his movement changes. One way to do this would also be to try to
Outrun him.
gain some advantages. It's pretty difficult,
Come on.
but you can try actually.
Here you go. That's it.
Nice.
Nice one.
But CC, he always
Listen
changes
to the
direction.
sound.
Yeah, I love the breaking sound. When it
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now you're confident, right?
no, now I'm just waiting. More than
So,
there are
Nims,
a few different.
how many hits?
Okay, I think 3 more.
One.
Oh,
two.
2. It's close.
Good
It's
guess.
close.
Good guess.
It's close.
And we get the fairy.
Yeah.
Great. And as I said, this is as much as we can show today.
Well, mainly as much as we want to show today, because we don't want to spoil the puzzles that await you from now.
So we make our way toward the exit just because of the Zora head googly eyes. A
yeah.
perfect way to end this
Perfect
presentation.
way.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much, Filippo. I have to say, a lot of the time I was going quiet watching this because I'm absolutely just stunned by how beautiful this game looks.
Yes.
It's so colourful and it's so pleasant to just watch and play. Well, you guys play, I watch. I will be playing this game very soon. But even the music, as we had our moments to stop and listen, it's for fans who are watching at home who may have played the original will absolutely love those moments. And there are moments in this game, like you were saying, that there are extra little tweaks that have happened and you kind of go, oh, that's different and that's happened, which is, again, really, really cool. So thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much, Filippo, for showcasing this for us today.
It's definitely our pleasure, I think.
Absolutely.
So for those of you guys watching at home, this was Nintendo Presents, a more in-depth look at The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which releases on September the 20th. Close to my birthday, just putting it out there for you guys.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll tell your parents.
All right.
I have to shake your hand on that. That was good. That was very good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you all very soon. Bye.
Bye.